think about toddlers and they're running downhill. So imagine the excitement they have. They're running faster than they can imagine. And then they fall, they get up, and they keep running again, right? Because the excitement and they don't have the fear of failure. They scrape their knees, but they're okay. They keep running. That's the kind of environment you want to create in the company, right? The inevitable amount of excitement. Get out of the way, let people run, let them find the true potentials, right? Just like a toddler who's willing to experiment. Suddenly the whole world is in front of them, right?
Absolutely. And then, how does it influence the way that you drive innovation and transformation in such a highly technical, regulated industry?
And that's the key, is that how do you make sure you get the right people first, who are the right mindset, who are willing to experiment, who are not willing to not afraid of failure. They're ready to fail, but fail fast and then learn and then keep moving. That's the key. The second is, how do you give them the environment and the resources for them to succeed? And the third, and this is the most important part, get out of the way. No, right? Sometimes we actually stifle progress more than anything else. So let them find ways. Some of these folks do such great jobs done, I can't tell you. So that's what is my role, right? I find the right people, get them the resources, and then I get out of the way.
Yeah, yeah. I've oftentimes used the analogy of a runway in the airport. The leader's job really is just to clear the obstacles, not to worry about the speed of the plane or getting the plane to take off. That's the job of your team. But the goal of the leader is, if there are obstacles in the way, to help them work through those obstacles, so that they're not impeding the takeoff of whatever the goal is. So, yeah.
Yeah, and my role is just to be an enabler, right? To remove the obstacles, provide the resources, perhaps pick them up when they fall, and that's about it. Rest of the stuff, they figure them out on their own.
Absolutely. What's the greatest piece of leadership advice that you've received?
Actually, it's been 3 decades, so it's not been one, as you can imagine. It's been a few. I like to quote a few, but the one which I truly believe in is there's some things within your control, and there are a lot of things which are not in your control. And don't worry about the things which are not in your control. We spend far too much more time on things which are completely out of your control, thinking the worst case scenarios. Inevitably, the worst case scenarios do not pan out, and you figure, why did I waste the time and energy? So my first piece is, I focus only on things that I can control. I just try to do them well, and then I don't worry about the others. The second piece is being making sure that I'm very, very open to learn, right? And therefore, the growth mindset is very, very important. I'm a firm believer that human beings can do anything as long they apply themselves to it, and it takes a little bit of time. The most important piece is the attitude you bring, right? So a learning mentality from the growth mindset is an important piece as well. And the final piece is listen more than talk. I think sometimes a lot of the team members, etc., just want a patient listening. They're not expecting you to act on everything, but sometimes they miss somebody just listening to them. I feel the art of active listening is a lost art. Just sometimes just listening and hearing the nuances come through body language and so on. So those are a few nuggets. I know more than one that you've said, but at 3 decades you create a lot of junk, right?
I think it was Janet Kukowski last week that just said the thing about, there's a reason why God gave you two eyes, one mouth, and two ears. So, otherwise we would be talking a lot more. Obviously, if we had two mouths. So,
That's true.
next question: what inspires you?
Yeah, and I think the key has been for me being in front and center with our clients, helping solve their business problems and working shoulder to shoulder with my team members. I think I have an incredible team, incredibly talented team, which is then every day comes up excited to solve a problem for our clients. I think that excites me, right? Seeing the way some of my younger team members, the work ethic they bring to the table, the way they approach a problem, completely different from mine. And the amount of energy, boundless enthusiasm folks have, that energizes me after 3 decades here. I said, okay, if that guy can do it, I can do it as well. So I'm trying to match energy to energy, step to step with those guys. So that really excites me.
Yeah, it's really important to have sort of just really broad view of the individuals that are out there that are doing things. I feel like to try and set the bar for all of us, right? And I think that's an important thing. I did want to mention, so I got a question from online from Louis Bertrucci, I believe. Hopefully I haven't butchered your name too bad. um, his question was, how can leaders further elevate patient-centric strategies? He just says, look, Sameer's insight into digital transformation is so inspiring. And so his question is, how can leaders further elevate patient-centric strategies?
Thank you for asking that question. I believe I think the key thing is putting ourselves into the patient's shoes, right? Spending a day in their lives of what actually goes, right, as they suffer to whatever disease or condition they have. And then work backwards from there. So, what can I do to make the things better for that patient, right? What in my small way can I make an impact, whether it's through marketing, whether it's through my medical affairs capability, whatever small way, right? I think most important is to put ourselves in the patient's shoes, maybe day in the life and so on, observe, fly in the wall. I think that sometimes generates a huge amount of insights and ideas and perhaps inspiration as well.
Yeah, it's been one of the most, I feel like, transformational things that I've seen inside of companies whenever they invite patients in front of a group of leaders to talk about their experience with, the thing that's been developed, or even, to provide early feedback in terms of things that are being thought about. And so, listening to both sides of those from the patient's perspective has been, really transformational for a lot of companies that I've worked with in the past as well.
Mhm. Mhm.
Sameer, what concerns you?
Actually, what worries me a lot if people's mindset is resistant to change. You alluded to that, right? I'm also a firm believer we have to embrace the change, right? And that's the only way you'll get ahead of the change. The more resistant we are, right, it only makes it worse. Change is inevitable in whatever shape or form. And that worries me when I see people who are resistant to change, who are used and comfortable in their own ways of working and not willing to evolve, right? That really sometimes rankles me, if that's the right phrase.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely something that I feel like change is always coming at us one way or the other. And so I think you said it earlier on, where you can worry about the things that are the noise in the periphery, but where your focus really needs to be on is how you move forward. So yeah. Last question: what excites you?
Don, I'm going to date both of ourselves, but we are the generation which actually started with the rotary phone, then saw the big car phone of Nokia. We saw the first launch of iPhone. We've also seen Google Glass come through, right? So just think about the iteration. So that's what excites me, right? We have been very fortunate to see the evolution over the few decades of our lives. I'm really excited what the next evolution comes through. Even generative AI in the last 2 years has been phenomenal, right? Each iteration, right now it's about agentic AI. I don't know what's the next wave coming to. So that's what excites me every day. Seeing what's the next piece, what else can I do here? What more can I learn? What more can I experiment? What more can I give back? I think that what excites me a huge lot.
Yeah, I definitely am very excited about the future of AI, and where things are going with this. I also, in terms of the transformation of technology, in our lifetime, it has been amazing to be a bystander for a lot of it. And I definitely look forward to seeing things as well. So Sameer, thank you so much for joining me on the Life Science Success Podcast. I greatly appreciate you being here, and for sharing with us, the things that you're doing at Indegene in this industry, and all the great things that you're doing, with your team in the world as well.
Thank you so much for having me.